ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world?
This can't be.
Be what? Be real?
It's going into replication.
Hey, Pop.
Still nothing.
Let's go. Let's go. Tank, we're going to need a signal soon.
I got a fibrillation.
APOC, location.
Targeting almost there.
He's going into arrest.
Lock, I got him.
Now, Tank, now.
Imagine a world where you can be anyone, go anywhere, do anything. Robotic human surrogates combine the durability of a machine with the grace and beauty of the human body. With most people living their lives through their surrogate selves, our world has become a safer place. Take a seat in your STEM chair, and just with the power of your mind, you can control your surrogate and send it out into the real world. You can finally live the life you've always dreamt of, without any risk or danger to yourself.
We are confronted with an unprecedented situation. 2 people have died while connected to their surrogates.
I think we may actually have a homicide here. First one in years.
The public cannot be allowed to get the idea that using a surrogate can be fatal.
Especially if it's true. I just want to know how an operator can be killed by signals from a surrogate.
Surreys have been blown to bits without the least bit of harm to their operators. If it were possible, it would defeat the entire purpose of surrogacy.
Oh my God, Tom?
You're lucky to be alive. Good thing you're unplugged.
How long is it since you've been out without a surrogate?
Can't even remember.
It's different when you actually feel the pain.
What do you want from me?
My wife.
I am your wife.
No, you're not.
We can change the world, and now you want to destroy it?
Surrogacy is a perversion. It's an addiction.
How do I stop this?
You can't.
I think something's gonna happen.
What happens now?
Now it's up to you.
Folks, they've been cloning people since the 1950s and maybe even earlier than that. This is what they do in Dulce Base in Dulce, New Mexico. This is a real picture of one of their cryo tanks, Stacy's tanks. Clone growing tanks, whatever you want to call it. They do this stuff, it's real. You know, Jimmy Carter was the first cloned president, and he had 12 clones. Remember Jimmy Carter? I liked Jimmy Carter. He was president pretty much when I was a kid. This is a 1977 picture of him. 12 of them. And if you remember, Jimmy Carter spent a lot of time at Camp David. Look at that black stuff on the back of his hands. What the heck is that? And guess what? They have a lab at Camp David in Maryland where they cloned our presidents. It's Camp David. In the Catoctin Mountain Park. It says the United States Department of the Interior National Park Service. But on the maps, you can see, here's the Catoctin Mountain Park. And right here is the Naval Support Facility. Yeah. 6,000 acres, folks. There's a picture of Camp David. Remember back in 2012, Obama held the G8 summit there. That was when we came against it and sabotaged all their human sacrificing. They had a huge human sacrificing party where each one of the G8 leaders was supposed to required to kill 3 people or 3 kids, whatever they brought in. And so we went into spiritual war against that, and we won that night. Because according to my government contact, everybody ended up fleeing that place. This is what they do at summits. G8, G20, G7s, whatever you want to call them. All of the leaders are required to kill. It's Angela Merkel. That's the UK guy. Canadian, I guess. I don't know who half these are. Now you know why he was always at Camp David, and that was the real story behind Jimmy Carter. Obama hated Camp David. He never went there. He hated it. In 2010, or shortly around that time, they started building an additional underground bunker under the White House. And this is where they have their new presidential cloning lab. This is a story I found online. White House builds underground super bunker. Took 4 years to complete. You can remember when Obama and Michelle moved into the White House. They hated it because it was loud and noisy. Because they were building off to the side of it. They were building this new bunker underneath the White House. That's where they have the lab now. Remember I told you I saw a room and there were 12 tables, 6 on one side and 6 facing it on the other side. All clones of Obama. So how did I see it? Well, I'm a prophet and I'm a seer. I see things. The Father shows me things. Using clones and synthetics, which are fake Barbie plastic skin type humans, and even with transgenders, their plan to deceive people has been in full operation mode for 70 years now, folks. Now, on TV, everything you hear is a lie. Everything you think is real is fake. Even the fake humans, because the real ones are hired. And then they're replaced with fake robots, what we call synthetics. But what's even worse is that many of these humans are imprisoned in an underground base or even an off-world base. We know that they have cyborg programs and crossbreeding programs on Mars. They also have 18 hidden secret space stations they don't tell the public about. And so they're doing these things on various places, folks, off-world and on-world, underground bases such as Los Alamos, Dulce Base, at Montauk in Long Island, New York. And they take these humans and they put their bodies in some kind of stasis or coma, and they activate and use their brains via computers. This is what they're doing now with Neuralink and map lacing or neural lacing. They've moved on from cyborgs to this neural lacing, Neuralink thing. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. The father showed it to me, and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I can't even find pictures to even remotely come close to what I've seen. These humans' brains are alive, folks. The reason they do this is to have the human linked to the computer, direct the clone on Earth or in society, to think and act as they would themselves if that was really them. The clone replacement doesn't know that they aren't real. They think they're real. They have the memories, thoughts that the real one has. They have a copy of the host brain inside them via computer. So what they're doing now is they're taking humans and they're stuffing them in these off-world or underworld bases. They put them on these tables, and they put the body in a coma. What I saw was a coffin type thing, glass type coffin, and the person's head is hooked up to a computer, and the person on the table is very much awake. Their brain is active, and they're literally directing the clone on Earth that's acting as them. It's a picture of a neural linked brain with electrodes and computers. And as I've said, the real person is directing them behind the scenes, and they don't even know it. They just pick up thoughts and voices and respond like it's natural for those things to happen, because they don't know anything else. To them, it's natural. This is how they might appear in human form. If you could see their brain, how it's all mapped out, lit up with neural lacing. Transhumanism. This is a grade beyond transhumanism. This is almost like an idea of what I'm trying to present of brain sharing. We have file sharing on computers. This is what they're doing. They're brain sharing. You have the host who's on the table hooked up to a computer, and his clone look-alike is operating in society as he would be doing. He's acting like him. They're like twins. Only he's locked on a table, hooked up to a machine, and he's operating in society. This is what they're doing. And yet they want you to think this is technology they are working on and trying to develop. Folks, they've been doing it for a long time. Neuralink is pursuing what Elon Musk calls the neural lace technology, implanting tiny brain electrodes that may one day upload and download thoughts, the journal reported. Yeah, they're already doing it, folks. They've already been doing it.
Elon Musk has announced another visionary technology company. His new company Neuralink will work on linking human brains with computers, using nerve lacing technology. This invention would allow people to interact directly with the machines, without the need to use a physical interface. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, the form of neuronal lacing works is that the electrodes are implanted in the brain that will allow you to send thoughts back and forth with a computer, loading and unloading them. The benefits of this technology lie in helping humans expand their cognitive functions, including memory. Musk recently spoke about this type of technology, seeing it as a human way to interact with machines and superintelligences. the fit of the nerves will be like an additional layer in our usual human intelligence. More details about Neuralink will not be released next week, according to the Musk tweet. Initial applications of Neuralink technology could be in the treatment of disorders such as epilepsy or severe depression. A possible prototype for a neural socket is described in a 2015 article by a group of chemists and engineers, who look to use what they called electronic mesh to create a very fine mesh, which is injected with a needle into the brain. What's next? That we'll have to wait to know the details. The influence of Elon Musk in our modern life and the aura, which will continue to grow, especially if it will deliver on the promises of its various companies.
So I'm working on another video, like I said, and I'm working on what I consider really creepy, especially when you see it. This whole Elon Musk thing, and this guy is a work of art. He really is. If you don't know who Elon Musk is, he's the guy behind Tesla Motors and these electric cars that everyone always says are junk. But he is like a tech billionaire. He's a multi-billionaire. He's also the one behind Spacecom, or SpaceX, who we all know Bush and DARPA are behind. And Russia's probably the ones behind the Tesla technology, because America has always ignored and avoided Tesla for some reason. You won't see the name Tesla in any of our school books here. Most people don't even know who he is. Well, now they go to my chest. Most people don't even know who he is. Oh, can I get a break? Can I buy a break here? Most people don't know who he is, and... Okay, there we go. What is that? Alright. Where was I? SpaceX, Tesla, and now he's doing Neuralink. And Neuralink is what I've been talking about for I brought it up last year and didn't even realize what I was talking about. Remember when I was talking about mind wiring? And a Neuralink. Hello, Neuralink. That's exactly what it is. And so I'm looking for things that can describe what I've seen, and so that's what I'm working together on a video. People are wondering what I've seen. I am a seer. I am a prophet and a seer. A seer is someone who sees things, and the Father shows me things, and then I don't always know what I'm looking at because I'm not a scientist. And so they've been doing this thing. I love how he says, "Oh, I'm gonna create a company called Neuralink, and we're gonna merge the mind, the brain with machines, computers." You're going to? Oh, they are so far beyond going to we're already doing it, and we have people stashed in underground bases on beds and cots and gurneys and coffins hooked up to machines. They literally do. It's like one of those big cloning labs or rooms, except they're laying in these glass coffins, and their heads are hooked up to machines, which are they're computers. They don't look like our type of computers, but they're computers, because what they do is send and receive signals or data transmitters. And this is how crazy it gets, folks. They can kidnap you off the streets, and they can put you down wherever they have these things. They're off-world, on-world. I don't know where they're off-world. They're both. They're off-world and on, because they have so many. They have them stuffed everywhere. But you could have this huge underground base. Let's say it's Dulce Base. That seems to be where they do all the creepiest stuff. And they have 1,000 of these glass coffins lined up in rows. Because that's what they look like, glass coffins. And they throw you in one of these coffins. And you're tied down. And they put these electrodes through your head, onto your brain, and I found out that that's called neural lace. I have to find stuff to try to describe what I see all the time. It's called neural lacing. They're already doing it. And then what they do is they make a clone or look-alike of your body, of who you are. They clone you, and they put that person out in society to take your place. So you're, let's say John. We'll give him the name John. John gets kidnapped off the streets. He's put in a glass coffin, the electrodes on. Then they clone John, and clone B goes out into society to live as John A. So John B, who has all the thoughts and memories of John A. He knows where to go, where he lives, who his wife, who his kids are, whatever, his family. He recognizes them all because he has John's A brain in him. So he thinks. He thinks he's John, but he's really just a clone, doesn't know it. And John A. is fully aware of what John B. is doing. Okay? Because he can see and hear everything John B. is experiencing, seeing, and doing. Because see that it's a two-way transmitter. Like I said, the RFID chips are. Neural lacing's the same thing. You can send signals and receive signals. And so John A and B are very connected. Only John A doesn't know John B exists. John B doesn't know A exists. He thinks he's the real deal, but he's not. But the guy stuck in the coffin, he knows what's going on. And he can't do a thing about it. All they can do is sit there and watch his life being played out by a fake clone. And so what that person can do is send thoughts to the clone. Like if he's talking to somebody, he can send his thoughts on how he would answer the person's question or whatever. They're indirect. It's like they're sharing a brain. He can share a brain with the clone that's operating in society on his behalf. That's how creepy this technology is. Yeah. I went to war with it last week, and we released a lot. I'm not going to give an exact number right now. I'm over 1 million. Over 1 million of these people who were locked up in coffins. Yeah. Yeah, it's creepy. I told you guys, back in 2005, the invasion had already begun. And these are the ways they do things. This is how they've been taking over the world. Everyone's waiting for an outward manifestation of UFOs to attack the world, and that means the aliens are here. They've been working here all along. The invasion already began in 2005. They're replacing people all over the planet with fakes. India, the Middle East, those were the first target areas. And like I said, ask yourself, why does Beijing have the largest cloning facility in the world? Why do they need a clone when they have 1.2 billion people in population as it is? Why do they need more clones? Because they're replacing the real humans with clones. And then you take the real human, you stick it in the base, and you practice science with it, like Neuralink. They use these people as guinea pigs and lab rats to perfect their technologies. That's how they got the whole idea with the chip implanting, connecting them to the main computer, the beast computers. They've been using people as lab rats for years to be experimented on. They can wire your brain. They're doing it now. It's called neural lace. Only I don't think anybody else has picked up the thing that I did on the two different aspects of how they're doing it. With the first, the John A being locked up in the base, and John B living in society as the real person. And the reason they're so lifelike and so sellable that you never think that it's a fake is because he thinks, speaks, and does exactly the same thing as John A would do. They're already doing it, folks. They've already fooled you. If I named politicians that are actually neural laced already, you would die. You would die. It's already been in your faces. And I like how they say AIs, robots, robotic, whatever, synthetics. And when they show them, they look like those Iron Man type robots, aluminum metal type, whatever. Really? They're so far beyond that. If you want to see the AI robots that they say they're working on. Just turn on Fox News. Any of them, the news reporters. And ask yourself, why do they all have voices? Why do their other voices sound so familiar? Especially with the women. Like they all share the same voice box. And you hear it in the clones and on the fake commercials during the day, too. Daytime TV commercials. They all have that same fake... Well, it's just the same voice. It's just a female voice. Yeah, I guess... Hey, cheap labor. You don't really have to pay them. You just turn them off after the broadcast or after they do their little commercial. You just put them back in the box. Turn them off and put them back in the box. We're surrounded by fakes. Everything is just an illusion for the puppets that are controlling the earth.